what do you do when you're super busy and like, you mentioned that you do a lot of photography and sometimes you get really busy. Like, how do you keep up with your food?
Everything else in my life revolves around my food. And I'm like, not even kidding. Like I am the mom and I haven't always been this way. But as I started to realize just how important like my nutrition was for everything else in my life, is like, I won't stay up till all hours of the night cleaning my house and doing all these things because I'd rather go to bed because I think that sleeping is more important than a clean house. But then again, that's my personal preference. And there's other moms that are like, well, I can't go to bed because if I wake up to a messy house, like it ruins my entire day. But I just changed my expectations. I changed my, whatever. And of course, like we try to keep our house clean, but there are some days where I'm just like, F this, I'm going to bed. I don't even care. Like I'm done because I'm a morning person, but I'm not a night person. 8 p.m. rolls around and it's like, don't ask me to do anything. I'm parking my butt on the couch. I'm eating my like nighttime snack and nobody bug me, Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just like managing those different expectations and realizing that if you're too busy to eat, you probably need to like take a little bit of look at your life because no one should be neglecting a basic human necessities for busyness. Like, I mean, granted, there's days and there's times where things just get crazy, but if it's happening regularly and you're just too busy to sit down and feed yourself, what other things in your life are taking precedent over your own care?
Mm-hmm. By the way, your kitchen looks immaculate and it looks awesome, by the way. Like, I know why you want to cook.
I love my kitchen.
Because that kitchen looks bomb. If y'all are watching on the YouTube, your kitchen, you got to do like a cribs or something.
Seriously. No, we love this house. We like got into this house like right during 2020 when interest rates were like basically nothing. And right before the housing market went, whoosh. So like we were sitting in this house and we're like, we got so freaking lucky. Like when we bought this house, like we really did. I mean, cause I think it was like 2 months after we closed, it went whoosh, like skyrocketed. And we were like, oh dang. So we love this house. I love this kitchen. I love it.
And I did have some other questions about like your workouts. What are you doing for like? I know you do Paragon training. What specific program are you doing? And then, how do you? Yeah, like when do you work out? Like what's that look like? What's your day look like with working out with kids? Like do your kids work out? You said that they kind of go do their own thing and then you and your husband work out together, or what does all that look like?
It kind of depends. I started with Paragon. It was like right before you guys launched Physique. I think at the time you were still just doing like the Paragon workouts, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the day you launched Physique, I was like, this is what I need, like right here, because the Olympic lifting was like, I was having fun with it, but I'm like, this isn't really like my jam. So the day that Physique came out, I've pretty much followed that up until this cycle. I'm doing like Brian's specific program right now, which has just been so fun. It's just, I've really, really been enjoying it, but pretty much like Physique for the last, 3.5 years. This is something else that I wanted to kind of say and speak to is that it's really important that we make sure that we don't like, as women, as people in general, but like women and moms, that we're not necessarily comparing ourselves to like other people and what they're doing because we're on different seasons. So for a long time, like if I didn't get up and work out at 5 or 5:30 in the morning, it just like honestly didn't happen because my kids were young, they were home. And it was just like impossible to like get to the gym, or I didn't necessarily love taking my kids to the gym daycare because my youngest was just like, he just made everybody's life hell. So I just didn't want to like do that to other people. But right now, like we're in a season of life where a couple hours every morning from Monday through Thursday, at least, like I don't have kids because they are in preschool or my older son's in second grade. And so lately I wake up early and do work or like I said, I kind of do my morning routine and then I'll work out when my kids are at like school. So from like 8 to 10, I've got that block of time, but it doesn't always happen. It depends on what our day's like. Some days I still will get up and work out like first thing in the morning, like, 5 or 5:30. I just don't love it. I did that for years. And then I started realizing my workouts are so much more effective and efficient if I'm working out a little later, if I've had breakfast, if I've like given my body a chance to wake up. So if I can, I'd rather work out like between like 8 and 10, but it just doesn't always happen. But again, I didn't do that for a long time because I had little babies and now my kids are a little bit older. So it's like moms that are listening to this or that are just like feeling so frustrated because they're like, I have 4 kids under the age of 6. No one's in school. I'm not taking 4 kids to the gym daycare because it's going to cost me an extra $100 a month or whatever, It can be really frustrating to get like where you're like roll their eyes because they're like, well, I don't have that luxury. And that's true. Like, we all have the same 24 hours, but we don't have the same privileges or circumstances. You know, I'm really fortunate and blessed that I have a nice home gym. Like we've got a really nice setup out there. We're kind of slowly continuing to build. I'm really blessed and fortunate that like my husband and I work from home. So we're not having to juggle these like random like work schedules. You know, I have so many friends that I've talked to. I mean, where we live, it's agriculture, it's manufacturing. It's a lot of, you know, those kinds of things where a lot of people's husbands are gone from, you know, 5 a.m. to sometimes like 6 or 7 p.m. So there's like these moms that are writing me on Instagram and they're like, well, when am I supposed to work out? My husband leaves before the sun comes up and then comes home before the sun goes down, you know, or at least during certain parts of the year. And so it can be hard, but that's where we have to pull back and say, okay, maybe you can't do 5 days a week of Paragon, but can you do 30 minutes a day? Or can you do a 15-minute workout and can you take your kids on a walk? Right? Like there's always something we can be doing.
Something's better than nothing.
And then when your season changes, you can dive in more. But like going from that 0 to 100 or always trying to do that is when we typically just like crash and burn. And so depending on what season you're in, just do what you can, set those minimums. And then like I said, right now we're in a season of life that is just like really opened up a lot of doors for me to have more flexibility, but it hasn't always been like that.
I love all of that so much. That was so good because too, I think again, you know, it's like you guys designed your dream life. So like we had just interviewed our good friend, Laura Hall, and this was something she talked about where it was like, you know, the way that things look now isn't always what they looked like in the past, but she got to figure out over time, ooh, I really love XYZ. And you know what? I really want to stop doing XYZ. And so I think it's really cool that, you know, you've kind of lived that same experience of like, okay, well, we didn't always have a home gym. You know, we started building that and we started investing in that. And that's always something we're trying to kind of promote people to is like, well, hey, even if you can't make it to the gym, could you invest in a couple pairs of dumbbells for those busy ass days that you're just like, I'm not getting to the gym. I have a sick kid, life happened, you know, whatever it is, like kind of having, how do you make the, you know, the best choice, also the easiest choice. And so for you guys, you have a home gym. You don't have to spend time driving, but mutually, it's like you put in your time and you had the 5 a.m., the 4 a.m. wake ups and stuff like that. So I think that's all so good.